Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. You know, curiosity or inquisitiveness goes a long way or helps you out. You know, I talk about guys growing balls to fight. If you're going into a war or a boxing match or a fist fight, it's really a street fight. They have rules in boxing. A street fight, there are no rules. In family court, technically there's rules, but when the gloves are off, people commit perjury, lie all the time, okay? You guys are hiring lawyers that play by the rules when they're representing a man, and they play dirty when they represent a woman. They're playing by street fight rules, and I know how to street fight this. And you guys are playing follow all the rules and be the good guy and be the good little Boy Scout, and you get your ass handed to you. And you're surprised because you're like, well, on paper it says this. On paper, it said that black folks are supposed to have a fair hearing in the Jim Crow South. They didn't get it because the culture of the Jim Crow South. On paper, U.S. Japanese citizens should never have been thrown in concentration camps. Did they get thrown in concentration camps? Yes. On paper, women are equal to men. Did they get treated like second-class citizens a lot of times in the early 1900s? Yes. Now, some of that stuff, some racism, some sexism, some of it is hyped up, but we have at least periods of time where there's a history where that was a reality. Now we're dealing with men are discriminated against in family court. What are you going to do about it? You have to fight harder than the average person has to fight. And most of you guys want to bitch, cry, and moan about that. That life is unfair. Welcome to Earth. While you're bitching, crying, pissing, and moaning, not fighting for your kids, do you think your kids care about it not being fair, or are they missing their dad? I don't know. If you're on a cruise ship and somebody bumps into your kid and knocks them overboard, you say, that's unfair. I got to go swim after my kid when nobody else does. You're in a tragic situation. Go exert energy to rescue your kids from the tragic situation. So that's the bare minimum to even have a chance to win in court, by fighting like a man with balls. But if you don't even have the inquisitiveness or curiosity that people should have, you're really screwed. See, this is why I don't deal with a lot of whining, crying, pissing, and moaning. Because the biggest losers in life, no matter what area, whine, cry, piss, and moan, and hate on winners. Just think about, some old man who's like, yeah, I could have made it to the NBA or the NFL, but my coach held me back. Whine, cry, piss, and moan. Why didn't you work harder? Why didn't you do it on your own? There's kids before YouTube's had dribbling drills and free training and stuff that just picked up a basketball and went out and literally played 8 to 10 hours a day in the summer. And during school years, 3 to 5 hours. And they got better whether they went to a camp or they watched a tutorial or not. David Goggins, all his videos about stay hard and be a man, stop being a bitch. That guy had all the excuses in the world. Abused by his stepdad. Lived in a racist part of Indiana. Got his life threatened. I think he said they found a burning cross somewhere on his lawn or something like that. And threatened his life and all that other kind of stuff. So there's a whole bunch of unfair stuff. But here's the thing. And again, here's another example when I was totally lost. And I did not have the free help that you guys have. I had one mentor and another guy I did a couple consults with, and he just gave me some good advice on a couple of things. He made me pay him $600 to write up something that I had to rewrite, and he did a shitty job at it. That was Dennis Gack. I think he's passed away now. National Brotherhood of Fathers' Rights. You can find his stuff online. But he kind of ripped me off. But he gave me some invaluable advice, a couple tips here and there. He actually said, I can count on one hand the number of men who fought like you did. And I thought I was just doing the bare minimum. My daughter was in danger. The house was on fire. She fell overboard. And I went to go rescue her with everything within me. I fought for my daughter. I thought that's what normal men do. All these tough guys who talk, oh, die for my kids, and all this tough shit talk. When it comes down where the rubber meets the road and you're going to court and you have to deal with some hardship, most people are pussies. Guys who are 6'6", 300 pounds, could beat the snot out of 99% of the people they walk up on. Pussy at heart. Scared to fight for his kids. Scared of his woman. Let me get to this inquisitiveness or curiosity thing. When I look at court papers, now this is in Washington, it may not be the same anywhere else, but when I look at something in Washington, you know, you have the caption on the top of your court paperwork. Don't have anything in here like that. So you have the court papers in the Superior Court of Washington, in and for the County of King, and then you have the caption on the left, James versus Sedaris Wright, my baby's mom. Case number, motion for temporary orders. And then I go down to the bottom. You click on the footer in the bottom left. It will say the form number. And they do this in a lot of states. I know California does it. And then it will say the rule or the statute that governs that form. I'm so inquisitive. I want to know, what the hell is this thing that governs this form? So I didn't need anybody to tell me, go look up the law that has to do with your, like in a parenting plan. It says in the bottom left, RCW 26.09.187. I went and Googled that. This is 2001, because the law was online. All the other stuff like case law and stuff like that, I did find a search engine online at that time. It was a ghetto version and wasn't as helpful as Westlaw or Lexis. But I found the statute online, and then within the statute, it mentions other statutes. And I'd see that, I'm like, oh, what is this? This is the definition of parenting functions. Let me go see what they are. And then so now I have a pamphlet on my flow page for people in Washington that cites all the laws that are important. I delete out all the bullcrap because you'd be reading, it'd be like 30, it's like 5 pages, 7 pages. It would be like 50 pages long if I put all the laws in there. I put the important ones that apply, and then I used in my argument, and that other people have used in Washington to win in court. I did that all on my own. I didn't need anybody to tell me that stuff, because I'm reading a court paper, document, a parenting plan. This is going to have an effect on my life with my kid, and they mention a statute in there. I'm thinking, man, I should look at the statute. Duh! That's 3rd grade level common sense inquisitiveness. Kid goes outside and sees some bugs, or sees, you know, a tree. I wonder if I can climb up that tree. I wonder if this is dangerous. Why can't you have the same inquisitiveness or curiosity when you come across something, read it or look it up? Most people say, oh, what does that mean? Oh, I don't know, move along. This is a court document, or you come across some case law, or the other side in your court case. Like, let's say you're representing yourself. The mother's attorney writes something, Jones versus Jones, Court of Appeals, 2007. And they're saying, you know, this is why my client, the mother, should have custody. This is the same scenario as Jones versus Jones. Why don't you have the freaking common sense my sister with Down syndrome would, reading that and say, oh, I don't know what this case is. Let me copy and paste it and go look it up and read it. And you actually might find that they're lying about that case. I've actually had people who looked up case law, and then they found the case law, and the attorney was wrong. The attorney just copied and pasted some case law from some other previous. This is how lazy they are. And if you actually got off your ass or had some inquisitiveness to want to look stuff up, you would find stuff wrong with their stuff. You know, I just talked to some guy yesterday. Here's a huge one. This happens all the time. A dad comes and sits down in front of me at my office. I work from home now, but I had an office for a long time. Then I went broke for a minute. I couldn't afford the office, but had an office. Have somebody sit down in front of me. Man, James, they tell me, James, I'm really concerned about my baby's mom's boyfriend. He talks major smack during visitation. I say, what's his criminal record? Oh, I don't know. You didn't look up his criminal record? No. I thought you said he had an attorney. Yeah. Why didn't the attorney look up the criminal record of the stranger that lives with your kid? Why weren't you even curious about it? What the hell is wrong with you? Now, I don't say it like that. That's what I'm thinking. But what the hell is wrong with you when your child goes somewhere with total strangers and you don't want to find out if they have a history of molestation, domestic violence, or child abuse? I had a guy call me yesterday. Do you know a good background check place? Well, you can have a private audit. This guy has never looked up the kid's, the mom's new boyfriend's background. And then we found that he might have a restraining order, which means domestic violence, which means the dad should automatically have custody. And he didn't even attempt to look at that. You guys got to be more curious than that. You could have a winning argument that you're not even looking at.